Morning, Stampers. Hello, welcome to the Loven Stamp Studio. I'm Meg and I am excited to see you here. And we are making today a Christmas card, but it's not just any Christmas card. It is a fun mashup of two design elements, two layouts that I love to use. They're two of my very favorites. One is a 3x4 3x4 DSP layout, and the other is a Z-fold card. So if you're familiar with either of those, you can find more information about them on my blog at lovenstamps.com. Look for the tags because I have categories of all different designs for both of those card styles. But today we're going to mash them up and we're going to make a Christmas card that is a really useful one. You can use it over and over again. You can make many of them at one time, and I'm going to give you some tips for batch stamping. And the nice thing about this particular card is that all of your creations will be different. So yes, it's the same card, but if you're sending it to 10 different people, there are 10 different exactly different cards. Exactly different, that's probably not what I'm looking for, but you're going to get 10 different cards that are going out to your friends. So although a better number would be 12, and you'll see why when I get going here. So start thinking about your Christmas card list, right? In batches of 12. So maybe send one to someone you haven't talked to for a long time. I got to go to my college homecoming this weekend, which is really fun, and I reconnected with several people I haven't talked to for quite a while. So we don't have to talk about how many years it's been since I graduated. Anyway, hey Lori. Okay, so what are we using today? We're using Jolly Delivery, and we are using the Christmas Words Collage embossing folder, hybrid embossing folder. So I'm going to give you tips for using both of these. And we're going to go over the brayer part. If you haven't seen that before, it's going to be really useful. And if you have seen that before, hopefully it's a little refresher that will get you some direction on those. And one of the things I want to talk to you about is the card kit. So this is the card kit that is one of the to-go card kits. If you're placing an order with me during the month of September, today's the last day, you're going to get this card kit to go, and everything you need to make this card is included in it. So it's a really great kit. Your order has to be at least $60 or more before shipping and tax to get this kit. And then there's another one for this cute little box here, the little gift card envelope holder, which was one of my last video tutorials. So if you place any size order, you're going to get a PDF from me, printable at home for 4 projects using this same suite of products, which makes them a really useful thing to have on hand. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started on our card, and then we're going to break down some of the pieces here so that they're more useful to you, especially if you're making multiples of things. So we're starting with a half sheet of cardstock. It is 8.5 by 4.25. I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to fold the front back, and now we have our Z-fold. And it's really that simple. If you're like, wait, Meg, that was too fast, it is really that easy. And now we're going to make a background for it. So I have a piece of garden green here that's cut to 4 inches by 4 inches by 5.25. And I realize I need my scrap paper because we're going to stamp off the edges of my project here. So I'm going to pull in a piece here of grid paper. I do love grid paper. I don't usually include it in the supply link anymore, but it is such a handy thing to have. I love having access to the grid on it, the ruler. It's just, I use it all the time. And if I stamp off the edge of something, then I just throw away my paper when I'm done, and mess cleaned up, all done. No big fuss to get things wiped off or sorted out or things. So anyway, the grid paper comes in a stack of 100 sheets and makes it really easy to go ahead and utilize for things like stamping along the background. See, so I can just set this aside. All right, so we've got garden green on garden green. Hi, Unica, good to see you. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna layer this down onto our back card here, our inside layer. So this is going to show when our card is open and when our card is closed, which is one of the great things about a Z-fold card. And I have here the combination of the Z-fold and the 3x4 DSP card. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a 3x4 piece of designer series paper. And this is going to layer here on the 3¼ by 4¼ piece of cardstock. So super, super easy to make these mats. And when you do your cutting for these cards, this is part of why I would say it's nice to sort of think in batches for a card like this. So this cardstock here, designer series paper here, is 12 inches by 12 inches, which means that if you cut off a 3-inch strip of it, then you can cut that 3-inch strip into 3 pieces that are each 4 inches tall, 3x4, and you're going to have a whole set of cards DSP to use for making these cards. Okay, we're actually going to use 2 of the 3x4 pieces on this particular card, so you'd be getting 6 out of a whole sheet of paper. But the papers for this particular suite, the Jolly Delivery bundle and the North Pole Delivery suite, give you a lot of options. So this is a really great one for mixing and matching. Yay! Oh, Betty, it's good to see you. Fun to catch you live. Yeah. Let's see. Betty said, I love this paper dies. Also need the stamps. Yeah, the stamps are super handy for kind of filling in backgrounds, and I've used them a number of different times on these projects. So, all right, now usually I like to make things square, and I would go ahead and stick down this way, but we're going to go with a little bit of a jaunty angle. So I'm going to go ahead and pop some glue on here, and I'm going to do it not too close to the edge. And I'm going to go ahead and put it on. I like to put it on the card so that now I know I'm not going to overlap any edges with my glue, because you don't want the glue to be out here on your layer, because then you're going to glue your card shut, and then that's just really sad. All right, now our piece here, I'm going to go ahead and make this one pretty square, I think. And before I put that down, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap a piece of the red and white baker's twine around it. So this twine will be included if you're getting your Loven Stamps card kits to go for September from me with your if your order $60 or more from me this month. If you place 2 orders for $30, you can do that. Whatever is the best fit for you. But I really like sending these out as a little treat. All right, now here is a problem. Okay. So what I've got is this string, but it's really loosey-goosey and it doesn't stay tight. Now I could try tying this over again to try and make my string tighter, but I also can cheat on this. And so to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull on the back edge to pull up this loop. Why don't you guys get a little closer today? There we go. To pull up on this loop. And then I'm going to take the slack out of it by just turning it and pressing it back down. Now I need some adhesive to do this so that it'll stay. And tear tape is really easy for this. I just want to make sure that I keep my adhesive where it is going to contact my cardstock. Again, I don't want to accidentally seal my card shut. So now I'm going to pull this loop. I know it's a little bit hard to see, but do you see this on this grid paper? But do you see this little loop of baker's twine? So now if I pop my tear tape down, I've got the slack taken out, see? And now my bow is nice and tight here on the front of my project, okay? So now I can go ahead and stick this down, and I might as well peel these and use extra adhesive here from my tear tape. The harder you push that down, the easier it is to pull the backing off of the adhesive. And I'm going to just double check where I'm safe to put my glue, and we're just going to put sort of around the middle because I know that that will be safe. And by safe, I mean it's not going to stick my card shut. All right, so if you were making this in a batch, I would make piles of all the things. I would cut all the card bases and have them stacked up. I would cut all my DSP and have it stacked up. I would cut all my layers and have them stacked up. I would stamp all my green pieces and have them ready to go. And then I would start to assemble. And I would do each step at a time. So I would stick down, if I was making 50 cards, I would put 50 green pieces on 50 card bases. And that is going to be the quickest way to go. So I have some more tips for you on batching because we have some fun elements that we're going to add to this card. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down here in the center. So 3x4. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our focal point to this card. So this particular card, whether you're doing a 3x4 or a DSP, or sorry, 3x4 DSP or a Z fold, you always want to have a focal point and your greeting. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that. And for our focal point, we're going to make a mat here, okay? And I'm going to make my mat out of real red cardstock or Poppy Parade cardstock. Either one will work really well for this. I find the red in this particular paper to be pretty close to both of them. And the easiest way to do this in batch is to use a nested die like the perennial postage dies here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and I have my cardstock cut. I'm just going to take these dies here. That's pretty close, but that's going to fit. And I am going to lay them out, the ones that I want to use. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to protect our dies and make the most of our cardstock here. Let's see. This is like a puzzle. I think this one maybe goes here. There's no wrong answer. It's really just a matter of figuring out what works best for your dies. And let's see. This, I could ask you guys for help, and you could, just like shout out which order should I put them in. Let's see, maybe we do this and this and this. There we go. And I'm going to leave this one off because it's pretty small anyway. All right, so now I have these dies laid out, but I would want to make sure that I'm not going to damage them with all of my cutting. So the thing that could damage them is to have them jump across each other on my platform and mean that they are cutting into each other. So the cutting edge on these dies is pretty robust, but it doesn't like to bump up on top of another die. If you've ever had that happen, you know that it generally leaves a place where the die doesn't like to cut anymore. And so that's always pretty sad. So we're gonna make sure that that does not happen. And I'm gonna do that by aligning all these dies and then popping washi tape on them so that it keeps them separated and lined up at the same time. And the reason that I'm taking so much time to do this is because if this were a card that we were making over and over again, so let's say we're making 12 cards or 6 cards, I guess, with the DSP, but batches of 12. The nice thing about this is that now I have 6 dies for the perennial postage that are going to get cut, 6 rectangles / squares, and they are going to fit here on this half sheet of cardstock, I think probably twice actually. So what I can do is go ahead and cut these, and I'm going to have all of these cut at the same time, and then I'm just going to pick my dies up and move them over and cut again. So this is a really quick way to make short work of cutting a whole bunch of rectangles. Now, if you're thinking like, well, some of those are going to be big and some of them are going to be small, that's okay, because we actually have the perfect solution for that too. So I have my greetings, and the greetings for these are going to be a variety of sizes. And so we're going to want to kind of match up a bigger greeting with a bigger frame here. Now, where did these dies come from, or greetings come from? I'm not going to go ahead and die cut this now. You guys know how that works. This is where those particular greetings come from. This is one of the hybrid embossing folders, which means that it is both a stamp and a die. They come together. You don't have to worry about ordering one or the other number. The link is in the video description for all the supplies that I'm using. And this one is the Christmas Words Collage, and it is great as a folder. We used it here, and as just a folder, I mean as dry embossing. So I used it here on this fun bear window card. There we go. If you haven't seen this one, you can go back and look at Maker Mornings with Meg. The easiest way to look for those is on the Loven Stamps blog. You can easily see what all the cards are, and there's a video tutorial for every card that I post on the Loven Stamps blog. So lots of choices there. But you can see that the folder makes a great background. It also makes these die cut greetings. So let's go over how this works. It is a very simple process. You're going to want to have an ink color and a Stampin brayer. And what you're going to do is go ahead and you're going to ink the folder. Now, which side to ink? The easy answer is usually the one with the Stampin' Up! Logo on it. Okay, so I'm going to turn this way so that I'm right-handed, makes it a little easier. I'm going to take my brayer, which has these little feet on it, which mean I can set it down without having it hit the table. But I'm going to turn it over so that when I'm inking my ink pad, the feet are out of the way. And that actually, it was on a video, I think. Somebody left me a comment when we were stamping together. They're like, you know, because I was using my brayer this way and the feet were catching on stuff and I had to like hold it way up, which like worked, but they're like, you know, if you just turn that over, the feet will be out of your way. So I appreciate you guys. Let's see. Oh, Cindy had a comment. Cindy said for general shape dies, not intricate, you can also double up your cardstock to get twice the amount at once. Definitely. Yeah, you can definitely give that a try. Sometimes dies are a little bit finicky and they don't love to be doubled up. But for something like an open shape with no pokey holes in it, not like stylish shapes wouldn't work very well for that. You can definitely give a shot at doubling up your dies. So, all right. So we are going to, speaking of helpful tips, so all right, we're going to go ahead and brayer on here. You notice I didn't bother to put my mat down underneath. So partly that could be a mistake, but mostly I'm just figuring that I feel pretty safe about inking my die because the brayer is not soft. It's pretty sturdy. And so it's not going to like go around the edge of my folder, which is good because you wouldn't want a mushy brayer for this. You wouldn't want a foam brayer for sure because you want the ink to hit only the high points of your folder. And I'm just going to kind of go over, make sure I get all of the high points so I don't have like holes left. Okay. Let's see, a little more down here. Now I feel pretty good about, look, there's a little bit of that I'm missing there. Feel pretty good about that. I'm going to take my brayer, I'm going to flip it over so that now the prongs are down and I can just set it here on my table without fear of ink everywhere. All right, now we have the die that goes with this. You want to kind of get it a little bit, I see Holly Jolly over here, so you can kind of align it a little bit before you start to tap it down. But when you put this on here, what you're going to do is you want to feel for it to grab. There's going to be one place where it fits in exactly. There we go. And then as I'm like kind of rubbing back and forth with my finger, it is really nested in there really tightly. It doesn't want to move. If it moves, it's probably not quite nested right. So you're going to want to make sure you get it. And it's pretty easy to get it in the right spot. You really want to make sure it's in the right spot because you don't want all these cutting edges here to cut into your die. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and take this. I have a 6x6 piece of very vanilla cardstock because I love the vanilla with this particular suite. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. Now, you really get like one shot at it. You don't want to, move it around a whole bunch. You have a little bit of forgiveness there, but I just want to set it down. Here's what I don't want to do. I do not want to put my cardstock all the way into the angle of my folder, okay? This is really hard on the folder. There's a plastic piece here that's holding the two halves together. And if I jam cardstock in there, it really is hard on that hinge and it can cause my folder to crack prematurely. So I'm gonna make sure that my cardstock is not in the hinge and I'm just gonna set it down. And once I close my folder, then I'm just going to slide it off the table here and pinch it so that it doesn't move, okay? So I'm going to keep a good pinch on it. And you can see here my hinge is well protected. There's no cardstock in it, all right? So now I am going to take this, let's see, over to my die cut machine. And when I go ahead and use the hybrid embossing folders like this, my sandwich is a little bit different. I'm going to use the number 1 plate, which has the number 1 in the corner. I'm going to put my die and cardstock and so forth in here. And then I'm just going to use the number 4 plate. So there are no other cutting plates that go into this sandwich. And then I'm going to run it through. I like to make sure that my folder is square on the platform so that it doesn't like rub along the sides. And I'm just going to run this through. It might feel like there's a lot going on here, but I'm not going to run it back and forth. One time is really enough to do it. So let's pop this back on here. And let's see, I'll do it this way. I'll do it this way. So now when I take my die out, oh, my cardstock came with it. Now this has some ink on it, so I would go ahead and just take this to my sink and run some water over it. Just, you don't even need soap, just water is enough. This is making me nervous, so I'm going to move it out of the way. And then I'd like to just set it up on the corner of my sink to dry. So super easy. If I need it again right away, I would use my chamois to blot out. But then I have my die cuts here of all of these greetings. I think there's like 17 on here. And so now I have all of these greetings here ready to go to mix and match with all of my rectangles. Okay. So obviously, like the bigger ones here, I would put on the bigger rectangles, medium size. There's some small ones here. You know, magic is a fun Christmas greeting. Anyway, so there's lots of good possibilities for mixing and matching. So I have, let's do, we'll do 'Tis the Season. There we go. Oh, maybe I'll take a big one. Maybe I'll stick with Merry Christmas. All right, so I'm going to set these aside. I like to just kind of keep these in my folder sometimes so that they're ready to go for the next time I want to use them. And now we're going to go ahead and we are going to pop this on here. Now, before I go ahead and glue everything down though, I want to make sure that everything's going to fit. And I want also to, let's see, add my next piece here. Now in your to-go kit is going to be a random little critter. And so this one happens to be this cute little cat. There are some of the critters in the designer series paper that match up with dies. So for instance, you can die cut out this bear, but like the fox or the squirrel or the owl, those you'd have to fussy cut. The other thing you can do is you can use let me pull this out. So I'm going to take all the papers. You can see me saving my scraps here. You can also use the punch out pieces for these particular elements. So there's 2 sheets of punches. There's the sheet of animals, and then there's the sheet of buildings and trucks. And you remember we did the buildings and the trucks here on our gift card holder. So those are really, really speedy to pull out of the paper. So you could go ahead and use one of these guys. Actually, I do love this little squirrel here. I just think he's one of my favorite characters. So maybe I'll use that one. And then I'm going to want an envelope to go on the inside of our card. So, or maybe a postage stamp. I'll take a postage stamp. I like this one because the color matches our card base, which is petal pink. So you can use these. You can fussy cut whatever is convenient and easy for you. And you get a whole sheet of each of those greetings or punch outs in 12 by 12 paper. So in a package. So lots of choices there. All right, so now I'm going to move this so that my squirrel friend fits on here. Actually, I might choose a different greeting. Joy would be kind of fun. I feel like it's a little small. Cheer. Cheer is always a good choice. Peace. 'Tis the Season. Let's see. I think I'm going to go with 'Tis the Season. There, like that. All right, now I like to go ahead and pop these on with Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to keep my postage stamp square. You could, of course, give it a little jaunty angle if you wanted to, but we're going to keep our square. And I'm going to pop that on there. Okay, and now let's go ahead and glue down our piece. I'm going to keep the glue just on the side here that I know is not going to overlap the edge of our card. I don't want to get glue out here where it's going to glue our card shut. That's really, with a Z-fold card, one of the biggest concerns. Don't glue your card shut. And so now we have the front of our card with our little critter on it. And now on the inside, we need a place to do some writing. So I like to just grab, you could either use one of your rectangles here, another one of these, or use like your 2 3/8 inch circle punch to punch yourself a circle and pop this on here. And then you could do your greeting on here. So let's grab, I have my real red ink again. I'm going to stamp Merry Christmas and Happy Wishes is from the Jolly Delivery stamp set. So let's go ahead and pop this on here. And then we're going to add our last little bit here with our little postage stamp. Oh, that was a fair amount of glue. And go ahead and put that on there as a little accent. Okay. So there we have our mashup of our DSP 3x4 DSP card and our Z-fold card, with lots of opportunities for you to mix and match and do different things. So here's another version of this one. This one I did a little bit more angled on our DSP layer for the front, but then I used the cheer greeting and that fun little dachshund friend for our card, and a little piece of the DSP cut with an envelope to go on the inside. So either way, like I said, this is a great card to mix and match a whole bunch of pieces and make the most. Now, I have also, I will show you, if you haven't seen them yet, the other cards from this series. We have our Holly Jolly card here with our window on the front. We have our gift card holder here where we made the envelope die that is part of the Jolly Delivery and turned it into the gift card holder size with a hack that I shared with you. And our fourth project this month is the 3x4 card, but not added to the Z-fold. So another set of super quick and easy elements that you could combine here to make some mix and match cards for lots and lots of different possibilities. So I hope you guys are enjoying seeing these Jolly Delivery projects as much as I've enjoyed sharing them. Today is the last day of September, so if you want this PDF with all the cutting directions and things like that, make sure you place an order with me before the end of the day today on September 30th. And then after this month, if you didn't earn this tutorial set as a free thank you for me for your September order, then I'll have it in my Etsy shop next month, and you can purchase that along with the other past tutorials that I've had. So Loven Stamps Card Mart is my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the video description for that too if you're looking for a link there. Also tomorrow, October 1st, starts the biggest starter kit sale we have ever had for new demonstrators or returning demonstrators. Basically, if you're not a demonstrator now and you would like to become one, you can order the starter kit starting October 1st, and you get a $90 shopping spree with it. So this is a really, really great opportunity. And the kit cost is $35. Your shipping is free, and you pick out $125 in product of your choice. There is really no downside, and it is a great chance to add products to your stamping library, your supplies for Christmas cards, whatever you like, at a really great discount. And then, of course, as a demonstrator, you get to keep ordering from yourself at a discount, which is a really great opportunity. You also get early access to new products, including tomorrow in your starter kit. When you go to my website, Loven Stamps, click Join My Team, click one of the Join Now buttons, and you'll be able to browse the upcoming November 1st release. I don't remember if it's November 1st. The upcoming November release of the online exclusives, because you can get those in your starter kit in October. So if you love the idea of like being the first to have something, this is a really good opportunity. There's more information on my website at Loven Stamps. There's a link in the video description if you'd like more details about that. I would be happy to answer any questions for you. I've already talked to a couple people who are like, okay, October 1st, I'm in. It's a really fun chance to join our Loven Stampfuls community. We do a lot of fun things together from all over the US and so forth. So let's see. Okay, so questions. Betty said, is the advent calendar available as an option to put in the starter kit? Yes. Yes, it is. So that would be $99 out of your $125. You can't go over the $125, so you could do $124.50 or $125, but not $125.50. So just watch that number. If you're like, I cannot possibly keep my order within that amount, you have two choices. One, you could go ahead and just order your $125 in your starter kit order. Then as soon as you are confirmed as a demonstrator, which is usually somewhere between 5 minutes and 24 hours later, you can place your own order as a demonstrator and get a 20% discount on what you're ordering. So the other choice would be to pick the second starter kit option, which still has a $90 shopping spree, but it's $99 still, and you pick $189 in product. So it's the same amount of stuff for free. It just changes like how much you can put in your starter kit. So you need to pick $125 or $189, and then the starter kit costs are $35 or $99. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Enoch, I'm glad you like the cards. Oh, and also Betty asked, are the measurements for the Z Fold and the owl card that I showed you the same? Yes. 3x4 DSP cards are one of my favorite go-to designs. Can use them with all kinds of designer series paper. The nice thing is that they let the Stampin' Up! Artists take a lot of the guesswork out of design for you, because you get that DSP in the background to really maximize your interest and your theme and your color scheme and so forth. So those artists drew some amazing work. So all right, I think that covers us for today, which is Tuesday, and I will be back on Thursday with another Maker Mornings with Meg episode, and we'll talk a little bit more about starter kit then. Excited to have all the people join us. I'm excited to welcome you to our Loven Samples demonstrator family. And again, let me know if you have questions. There's a list of all the perks that you get from signing up with me on the Loven Samples website, or lovenstamps.com website. You can find that under Join My Team. Learn more about all the cool things that we have. So, all right, everybody, have a wonderful day, and I will look forward to seeing you again on Thursday. So happy stamping, everyone.